Hi, my name is Rick, and I wanted to introduce to you my Ultimate Fire Simulator app that was designed by myself. Been in the fire service for about 16 years. 14 of those have been in the municipal fire department. The design of this was taking a promotional test. There wasn't anything that I could find that allows me to create my own scenarios using Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta side like I just showed you. However, this now does, and it's been a great app. You have the ability to use, we'll look at single family, multifamily, vegetation, commercial, have different tabs, and also the paid app, which is $1.99. You can send it to your friends or send it to yourself to have it for a morning muster, and also take your own pictures as opposed to using my own, which I've created on here for the free app. So that's the nice thing about this app. I'm going to go through in detail how the app actually functions. And like I said, the big thing is you have the ability to email it to other individuals so they could take it anywhere they are as long as they have a Wi-Fi or a 3G connection. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a commercial response. So if I was over here on any of these tabs, I can press on the commercial tab, and here's the one that already comes with the Fire Simulator app. Now what I'm going to do is I already have some pictures that I've taken earlier that I wanted to build an app or a scenario out of. So I've got to pick the camera, click on that, and you have the option to use camera if you're out in the field somewhere and you want to just take your pictures while you're there on the fly and build your scenario there. You can, or you just add it to your library, which I've done here. So click on library, and I got to go through my personal family pictures and get down to the structure. Here's the alpha side, so you click on that. You can center it however you want it, and then you just pick the choose button. There's my alpha side, and then I'll go ahead and choose the camera again. I'll choose my Bravo side, and there's the Bravo side. Choose that, and I'll go to the Charlie side. Whoops, that's it. Yeah, Charlie side. Can go to my library through the pictures, and there's a Charlie side, and then lastly the Delta side. And for this I just happen to take a picture of the Alpha Delta corner, which is just plenty good. So there's the Alpha Delta corner, and choose that. Alright, so now I have my 4 pictures. Go back to the Alpha side, and now you can choose any of these pieces that you want to drop and drag in. You have the rescue, which is simulated rescue. That'll blink different colors if you wanted to implement a rescue in your scenario. This is a commercial building, single story, so I'm going to go ahead and just stick with some basics just for the app. You can choose the size of your fire that you want. I'll go somewhat big and stick it right here in the window. Use the fire, and you can make light smoke, dark smoke, heavy black smoke, so you can lighten it or darken it how you want. I'll make it dark. And then I'll also put a little bit of a light smoke in the doorway here. Alright, so there's the alpha side done. There's what you're going to see when he gets this scenario. Now make sure you click the lock button. It locks it in place. Move on to the next one. Now Bravo side, let's go ahead and put a little bit of fire on the Bravo side. That's too big, so if it's too big or you don't like it, just push that button and it erases it. Let's pick a little bit smaller. Put that right there in the window, and I'll just add some smoke to it. You got it. You get the idea. I'll move quickly through this. Here's a Charlie side. We're going to add a life hazard here. Here's your electrical shock. I don't like that. It's too big. Let me make it smaller. So I'll start, let's say I'll put it in the weatherhead. And, oops, I don't want that, doggone it. Choose the wrong thing. Let's start back. Erased it. So let's go here. Put it in the weatherhead. And we'll say we got this drop line is creating a problem. And I'm just going to quickly build this scenario. What I used to do is go on YouTube and search for scenarios that meet what part of the test that I'm taking at that, or I'm studying on at that moment, whether it be a multifamily or not. So here's your life hazard here. Go ahead and make sure you lock that. And then we're going to go to the next one. It's going to be the Alpha Delta corner, and I'll just put a little smoke, let's say on the, I'll make it smaller on the eve line here. We'll just leave it just like that, and I'll put this back over because we did see this from the Alpha side, and the smoke. Alright, so there's your scenario set in place. Make sure you lock it. That way here you won't risk the chance of accidentally moving any of these pieces by locking it, okay? Next thing I want to do is, now I've got the simulator set. Now I want to go to the tactical worksheet. So now this is what we have here, and it's designed, like I said, like an org chart. So you got the IC, you got 4 divisions and 4 groups that you can use in the event that you need them, and also I have fire attack, on deck, RIC, medical. You have primary, secondary, knockdown, under control, PD or ambulance, and utilities, and this is your staging area. All right, so now what I'm going to do is go to what's this button up here, which is units. As you're setting this up, here's what you're going to have. Now you're going to have, this is going to be blank, a blank canvas for you, and you add or delete, or you just add whichever units would be ideal to your particular area. So in this case, I've got just generic reasons: engine 1, 2, 3, 4, truck 4, truck 5, battalion chief 1, investigator 1. For my first alarm assignments, my second alarm is going to be engine 5, 6, 7, truck 6, and third alarm engine 8, engine 9, engine 10, truck 7. In the event, give them that opportunity or the option to possibly need a second or third alarm. So now I'm going to go back. Now when he gets this, and I'll show you when we do this, he's going to push the start button, and basically those units are going to start coming in from the first alarm only, one at a time in the staging area, and you start putting them in place wherever you want them, depending on the scenario, or depending on what tactical objectives you have, or what kind of strategy that you choose. All right, so let's go back to the scenario, and now let's go ahead and send it. You're going to press this button here. It's going to take you to the Google sign-in page. The sign-in page for the email is thefire@gmail.com, and then the password is investment1. So let's do that. I'm going to press in here. thefire@gmail.com, and the password's investment, INVESTMENT1. Press the return button at the bottom and sign in. It says connect to Picasa. Do you want to continue with the to export the scenario? You go ahead and click on the continue, and I was going to side A. You see it's downloaded. We'll give it a second. It's going to process side Delta, side Charlie, and side Bravo. That's just the way that it downloaded them. So now it's going to come to an email page, as you can see here. And for this scenario, this is when you would send it to whoever, your friend or even yourself. In this case, I'm going to send it to myself. Now, there's an important note to know that when you send it to yourself, you've got to know, and I'll show you. Let me just put this, sit in the subject line. Check it out. And then in the body, I'm going to put 123 Main Street. That's it. That's good enough. So now I'm going to push send, and it's going to send it off to, in this case, me. But let's say you're going to send it to your friend. Now, if you're sending it to yourself, the important thing is when you go to your email to upload it, make sure in the Fire app itself that you've already created this, make sure you erase all these drop downs of fire into smoke. What would happen if you try to open up your email while it's already in the Fire app? It's just going to overlap it, and it's going to create a problem for you. So you don't want that. So anyways, in order to erase it, you just click on the circle with the arrow on it on each one. Go to each one and do that. Okay, done. Now I'm going to go to my email. Open. Whoops, that's not the email. Go to my email here. And there it is. So click on it. Important thing to know here is for this, you can see the scenario right here. So I've got check it out, 123 Main Street. The big thing is you don't just click on this, because otherwise it's going to come in. It's going to show up a code, and I'll do it. So you got all these codes, and that's not going to work. So what you're going to have to do is you have to actually push and hold for a second. Press hold. The open and fire simulator is going to appear because you already own the simulator. You're going to click on that, and now let's just say I'm on a plane somewhere, and I've got a connection. Okay, here's the scenario. Now you can fight the fire. So what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to pretend I just got this from the buddy that I was studying the captain's test with, and here's my scenario. Here's my alpha side. So I do my size up. After my size up's complete, I go ahead and do my 360. See what he's giving me. Okay, I see I have a life hazard here. All right, so I've also smoke showing from the delta side as well. So there you go. Now I've done my 360. Now what you're going to do is you're going to push on tactical here, so you can now run the scenario. Go to tactical worksheet. Okay, and if you're doing this at the on an iPad or an Apple TV, just got to give it a second. It'll adjust to the screen. So here we go. Now I'm at my tactical worksheet. You're going to push the word start, and they don't even have to look at what units they have coming because they don't know. So now what I'm going to do is as I'm doing my scenario or I'm working this thing through to my head, engine 1 comes on scene as you see there, and they just come in randomly. Engine 1's on scene. I choose that I'm going to go into the attack mode or fire attack, and I just drag them up to fire attack. All right. So it gives me a few seconds to gather my thoughts. I can go ahead and request for PD or ambulance. Go ahead and click on that because that's done. And then I'm waiting for my next engine unit to come into play. Here's engine 2. Engine 2 arrives on scene. So now they're going to go ahead and establish, we'll say command. You drag them up to the IC and go ahead and click on the arrow for the drop down arrow. In this case I already loaded it up for myself to make it a little bit easier, but otherwise you would just click in the box here and up comes you just type in what you want, okay? But in this case I already got Main Street up there. So we're going to click on that and their Main Street shows up there. Meanwhile I've got engine 3, engine 4, and truck 4 on scene. So I'm going to go ahead and have engine 3 come on scene. Let's say in this case they're going to be interior division. I slide them up to that division, and you can either choose to make divisions or group. In this case I'll make them interior. Click on that. And now engine 4 is on scene. I'm going to go ahead and put them on deck. Now in this case, fire attack, who is in the interior, is going to be working for engine 3. So I'm going to go ahead and reassign them or move them up to the interior. And they turn black, indicating that engine 3 would be the company officer. They're in charge of the division. And engine 1 is working directly for them. Now I've got truck 4 on scene. Let's say I need a ventilation group. I'm going to slide them up here. Click on that. Make them ventilation. Done. And then let's see, I got engine 4. Let's say I want to make engine 4 Rick in this case. Slide them over there. And let's say interior is reporting that we have a primaries complete in the structure. So we'll get a primary and they've got knockdown. So I'm going to click on these boxes. Primary, knockdown. All right, now truck 5's on scene. Have them go ahead and tie in with ventilation. They're going to be working directly for them. Again, they turn black, indicating truck 4 is the company officer in charge of that division. Now the battalion comes on scene here. All right, so engine 2 is now going to be assigned and tying back with his crew, and they come over here. And also the battalion chief is going to move up to IC, just like that. So their battalion chief moves up, and now the investigator stays on scene. Now if you wanted to, you go ahead and click on the second alarm, and next thing you know, you're going to have a second alarm assignments come rolling in. So let's say interior is reporting back that we have a secondary is complete in the structure, and now we have a primary and secondary all clear on the structure. Now meanwhile engine 5 arrives on scene. Let's put them on decks. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with them yet. And let's just say, hey, you know what, interior is reporting we have a medical problem. Now they're going to make them medical. And then engine 6 come on scene. Let's go ahead and put them on deck. And now let's just say, for example, in another scenario, you want to make an exposure group. You can always drag them up to engine 6 to up there and make them an exposure group in this scenario. So there you go. You got engine 7, truck 6 is on scene. So you have multiple resources coming in. And if you wanted to, you could call this third alarm. Now your alarms won't light up until, as you can see, that just lit up until your last unit on the prior alarm arrives on scene. So you can't call out consecutive alarms at any given time. You got to go one at a time. All right. So and that's pretty much the gist of it. You're going to go back, and if you ever want to look at the scenario again, you can go ahead and do that. And that's pretty much it. So this is a great app. I hope you enjoy it. Sorry I didn't get this out earlier. I know it's creating a lot of confusion for people trying to figure this thing out, but the big thing is remember that the sign-in code is thefirerapp@gmail.com, and then the password is investment1. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, that email still also works. Goes directly to me, thefirerapp@gmail.com. Send me anything that you have. I'd like to make this better for us because this is good for our minds, getting our minds right and working on these scenarios over and over again. So send me any requests that you might have. That's it. Thank you.